Hello, I'm Aishwarya from Sofy. Today I'll be sharing the three types of asserts that Sofy provides for testers and how to add them during or after a test automation. So what is an assert? An assert is a Boolean expression that is added at a specific point in a test script to validate a condition which will be true unless there is a bug in the program. For example, a test assertion is defined as an expression which encapsulates some testable logic specified about a target under test. With Sofy, you can either choose to stop your test execution when the assert rule fails or create a warning but continue to execute your test. This selection is made when you specify the assert rules. And with that, let's dive into the demo and learn how Sofy can help you validate information with asserts. Now, there are two ways to add asserts in Sofy. One, I can add an assert while I'm recording a test, and another method involves me adding an assert after I have finished authoring a test. So right now I'm inside the lab and I'm recording a test. So let me see how I can add an assert. To access my app in the assert mode, you can click on this assert icon in the action bar. So you will see that this app now comes in the assert mode with this small red icon on the top. Now I can see that it shows a red box around any element, and suppose I click on this element for which I want to define an assert. So after clicking on it, I see this add assert dialog box. Now in this add assert dialog box, I can specify what kind of assert I want to add. Now asserts may be of three kinds: component, text, or numeric asserts. So component asserts are actually used to verify the presence, absence, or the properties of any given component. And via this, I can check if any button, drop-down, input field, or any other UI element are present, not present, or enabled, or checked, and so on. Similarly, text asserts are used to validate the presence or accuracy of textual content within my app. I can specify if a text field is present or has a certain content or not. And lastly, I can also specify numeric asserts, and these are generally useful to validate numerical values such as integers, floating point numbers, or currency values. I can specify if my value should be equal to, greater than, less than, or should lie between a certain range. Now suppose I say that component is present. Once I do that, I can specify to Sofy what should happen if my assert condition fails. I can say that if my assert condition fails, I can either fail the test or just simply give a warning and continue. Once I have done that, we click on Add Assert, and this assert has now been added to my test. Now, Sofy also allows me to add an assert after I may have created a test. So for example, I'm in the home screen here, so I can go to the Automation tab and take a look at my test cases. Here, suppose I want to add an assert on this particular test case, so I click on the Edit icon here. Now you will see that this test case has opened in the Edit mode. Suppose I want to add an assert over step number 2, so I click on it, and in the small action bar, I click on the Edit icon to open this step in the Edit mode. Now, in these tabs above, I see a tab called Add Assert, and I'll click that and see that my screen has now opened in the Assert mode. Now, I can select any given component, and I can follow the similar logic I followed while adding asserts while recording the test. So I say this component, then I can choose what kind of assert I want to add over this component. And then similarly, I can specify if I want to fail the test or warn and continue. Once I have done that, I can simply save, and assert will now be applied over here, as can be seen on this screen. Now let's summarize what we went through over the course of this demo. You can add an assert in two ways, that is while creating tests and also after automating tests. And we also saw the three types of asserts, that is component, text, and numeric asserts. Again, I'm Aishwarya, and I hope you start using asserts to validate your tests. As always, please reach out to Sofy with any questions you may have. Thanks for watching and happy testing.